You'll all know.
I mean, that's what they say about just a tip.
All right, and we are live. And for everyone watching, the last thing that I just heard was "What's a dollar for a bundle full of nightmares?" Um, just to give you a peek behind the glass of everything that's going on. Let me. Cool. There now you can actually see rolls and stuff. We're good. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Nebulous Horizons. We are now on session 2, everyone. Yes. Um, and we took care of several of the technical difficulties in episode 1. I'm sure more are going to happen, as is the way of things, but we'll roll through it. Welcome all to the next episode. Um, we have one player short just because there was a major traffic incident. Jordan, our mysterious mushroom Thane, is going to be here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, why don't we open this up to the players and give me whoever wants to chime in back and forth. Um, what happened last session? What do you remember? Where did we leave off?
Anyone want to
Uh,
go?
I'll do my best.
I'll help. I'll help.
The camera cut into each of us. Some of us established within the city of Dendris. Some of us wanderers from afar. And slowly we came together at a fateful time in a street. There was intrigue and action and drama as hints and subtle innuendos were made towards larger plot elements, but it all boiled down to monsters attacking a populated street, and some people rose to fight those monsters, put them down for whatever reason, and then at the end, when the dust settled, we all kind of looked at each other and went, "Hey, you were killing monsters too. That's pretty cool."
I
um,
can't help. That was
yeah, you it. This is going to be an incredibly original game, but there are only so many ways to start.
Hey, at least we all didn't meet in a tavern.
Right? No, I would never.
Hey,
I would never. Oh, still my heart. Um, Excellent. Yeah, that is where we left off. Except for if I will chime in a few details. Um, the last thing that we heard was a mysterious voice approaching the group that called out, "Tamoira, is that you?" And in addition to this, Thane is currently walking off with the unfortunate citizen that died at the hands of one of those drake-like creatures, um, and is currently taking them to be interred in the graveyard here in Dendris, or at least the closer of the two. Um, and yeah, that is exactly where we left off. We are. Let's see. Looks like we're
you didn't
only a
tell me
couple
that.
minutes away for Jordan to get here.
My friend, you did not tell me this laptop was also touchscreen.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can even like flip the keyboard under and like use it like a tablet or like hold it back. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
not mean
sorry
to
for
that
not.
derail.
I did not realize I didn't tell you that. That's my bad. So how is everyone's week been?
Good.
Yeah,
Work is
My week
work.
has been good.
work. Yeah.
It's been kind of wild. Computer crashed, medical issues, action, drama, romance. Not so much on the romance, but I'd like some someday.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Dude, I was just gonna say you and me, bro.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Someday.
A friend of mine in the Twitch chat just said yoga laptops are nifty. I've never heard a bendable laptop be called a yoga laptop before, but that's good.
A yoga.
A yoga laptop.
Oh, fair point. But
Is it?
what is this? What is this?
Is this a Wild Jordan?
Hi ho. Oh wait, I can't sing that, can I? It's copyright.
It's from like
No,
the
just
50s, right?
just those two
60s?
words.
50s, 60s?
That's it.
It's old enough now. It's fine.
Is it old enough? Is it?
Well, actually, nothing's old enough when the mouse is in town.
That's true. But I think you're allowed like 13 seconds of a song before you have to pay royalties.
13 seconds. I'm going to push that boundary. I'm going to look up what the boundary is to make sure it's 13 seconds. And then I'm going to push it just because I can.
Yeah, I dare Disney to come after you.
Oh, gosh. All right.
The mouse will come after you.
We are ready to go as soon as his camera and mic pop up.
Oh, what's the button? I don't need to go to that. That's the channel I should go to.
So far, this doesn't count as a technical difficulty, right? This is like we're technical difficulty free for a moment.
You should put a counter up on the Roll20 page, 0 days since last technical incident. And then whenever somebody is late or we miss or something, change a sign to be like 0 days since Velociraptor attack, or 0 days since we lost someone to goblins.
0 days. I hope we don't lose anyone to goblins. I'm not trying to kill my players just yet. Not this early. I gotta establish the world first, then I can be merciless. Jordan, audio test. How you doing?
I can hear you guys fine.
And I can hear
Can you hear
loud
me?
and clear. Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Are
Good.
you capable of making it go landscape, or is it only going to show up vertical?
What that is?
That turned the camera, but not. It's still vertical. So yeah.
That just made you sideways.
That just made you sideways.
Well, then you're probably
It'll work.
stuck with
It
this.
might be better if you started the call while in landscape, but
Yeah, I don't know if your screen rotates.
sometimes phones are finicky like that.
I know most phones have like a little setting on their little slide bar that make it auto rotate, turn on or off.
Oh my
I
god.
feel like I'm tempting fate. Like we had him, and now I feel like I'm pushing it too far, and now
He's
everything's
gonna-
gonna crash.
You got it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it.
All right, cool. That works. Perfect. All you missed, Jordan, was we did a little recap of where we were last time, and we finished that recap with you walking away with the body of the citizen that was killed by the Sandrake, and a voice coming out of the side street calling out for Tamora.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I think we're just gonna pick up right away with Thane. You heard the voice call Tamora, but you're already like a block and a half away. Do you stop and turn around, or do you continue on your path?
I continue on.
Okay. You have this body of it is a human female, and you are. How are you carrying them?
I'm carrying them just in my arms.
Okay, like a bridal carry. Okay.
Yeah.
You very quickly, as you start to move away from where the drakes attacked and where people fled from, and you start to get into populated parts of the city again, you amass looks very quickly, carrying a body, obviously. And after some time, one of the town guard will actually approach you. What's going on here?
There was an attack. Sorry,
Yes.
my hands are full. There was an attack in the street with the red stones.
It got all the way to Red Street, did it? There have been small attacks all throughout the city. All have been quelled by now, but there's chaos everywhere. I assume you're taking this to... They don't look alive. I'm assuming not to a healer then?
No, I'm taking them to the graveyard.
Very well. It will probably be filled with more by the end of today, so thank you, citizen. That'll be...
Of course.
All unless you need assistance with carrying the body?
No, they're fairly light.
Very well. I have a lot of panicked people to go attend to, so if you need any help, call out for a guard. Otherwise, I'll be on my way. And with that, he'll take off. And
I'll keep going.
You were left to your own devices. People leave you alone once you've been approached by a guard and they walked away without you being arrested or any altercation. You're mostly just ignored now. And you make it to the southern of the two graveyards that service this city.
Okay.
What do you
He
do
said there was more bodies. Is there an obvious... Is this the graveyard that I stopped at originally?
This is the graveyard you stopped at originally, yes.
Okay. Is there an obvious grouping of dead people? He said there was more bodies here.
He said that there would likely be more bodies before this was all over. Implicating that there were reports of deaths elsewhere in the city. So right now there's no bodies, but you can tell that the people who work here at the graveyard have already been notified by the town guard and are like moving around with a purpose to try and get ready for a influx of people. Although you imagine that the medical facility is probably even more panicked, for lack of a better word.
Then he'll approach one of them and say, "Have a victim of an attack here. Where would you like me to put them?"
Right now we need to sort them just in case any murders or accidental deaths get mixed in with the tragedy that is now taking place. So we need to verify cause of death. So just set them on the tarp we've laid out over there, and we'll take care of them from there. Thank you.
He nods. He goes and places the body over there.
Yeah, you lean down and rest the body onto this tarp. And while it is the first body on this tarp, given the size that they have cut out and laid here, it looks like they're expecting dozens.
Yeah, he'll lay the body here, and then he'll approach either the same or a different person, whichever of the gatekeepers says that it appears to be available to talk to him.
Okay, yeah, you find one. Yes, can I help you? They kind of cock their head a little bit when they look at you, and they kind of look back and forth between your eyes as they're ever so slightly drifting slightly apart. But then he kind of just picks one to focus on and says, "Can I help you?"
He says, "Yes, I am a cleric of the cycle, and if you need some services for the dead as they come in, I'd be willing to help you out.
That
I'm not
actually,
usually good at healing people, but I can cite rights for those who don't already have other arrangements."
I see. Um, we actually would appreciate some help this evening. Right now, most of the city's clerics are going to be assisting with healing those that can yet be saved. There's not going to be very many left over for funerary rites, so your help is welcome and appreciated.
I'll be back this evening then. And with that, Thane would take his leave.
Excellent. It is now we return back to Red Street, just a little ways away from Durad's shop, where we find the rest of our party. And down a side street is a creature that some of you may recognize and some of you may not. In front of you looks like an elf, except for their skeletal features are extra pronounced. Not in the sense that like elves are slender, but like the bones are actually larger than they should be. So you have cheekbones that like rise out, and the bones over the eyes create deep sunken features. Their collarbone looks like you could crack a beer bottle on the edge of it. Very edged, bony features. And they have a pale blue skin, not unlike a sunny sky. And you feel a wafting smell of spring flowers. And their hair looks like it's made of vines with leaves draped through it. I will allow a nature or arcana, your choice, although the information you will get will be slightly different based on what you choose, from anyone present on the creature in front of you. Nadia, you do not need to roll. I'm pretty sure you know what this is, and I'll message you just in case.
Can we all roll this?
Yep, everyone present.
You said nature or what?
Nature or arcana, but the type of information I'll give you will not only depend on what you roll, but which of the two you pick. They're both useful, but different styles of information.
Oh boy, which -2 do I want to roll?
Did that
Oh no!
did that Arcana roll go through? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's just cut off on the bottom.
Yep. Cool. Nadia, did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this somebody who I recognize? Like
Not personally, no. Not
okay.
many personally
Well,
recognize. Alright, let's see how y'all rolled. So we got first is from Durad is a 17 Arcana. Alright, so Durad. With a 17 Arcana, you'll notice two things that are very important to Durad after your backstory and things that you've talked with me about one-on-one. First is that the flow of magic that goes through their body, the weave, is moving at a much more accelerated rate than than pretty much anyone you've ever seen, even those that are naturally gifted like yourself that can manipulate the weave. This seems to be moving at a quicker pace, like a river that is the day, right after rain, and it's starting to like flood through.
Gotcha.
And it's almost like a different color, a different feel. It's almost like it's not even the same weave that you're familiar with. That's the first thing. The second and more important thing that you figure out with a 17 Arcana is that this is the second time you've felt this before. The first time was when you met Nadia. As that's what Nadia feels like when you perform a detailed Arcana check with your vast knowledge of magical workings.
Yeah.
Next, we have a 16 nature from Luca. All right. You're going to recognize this. I'll leave it up to you on if Luca's ever met one before, or if Luca just knows of them because of their backstory. But she would recognize this creature as a fae, like one of the main creatures of the Feylands, like one of the main species found in the Feylands.
Oh. Oh.
You'd recognize that its creature type is fae. Also, with a 16 nature, I think you would recognize that there is a distinct arboreal smell that is not unique to anything you've smelt in your travels here. Nowhere near Dendris, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to be careful with my words because I'm not trying to spoil anything from your backstory, but
Yeah.
It
Luca
smells
would
different trees.
Luca would not make the open and aggressive move of like drawing a weapon, but Luca's eyes would narrow and she would take a step backwards, almost in a defensive stance, and she would remain quiet.
Interesting. Okay. And from Kensu, did you have advantage on that, or did it accidentally roll?
It accidentally rolled twice,
Okay, so that's a 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, you're on private. You gotta toggle it to public so that way other people can see your rolls too. That's what the yellow bar means.
Okie doke.
With a 4 in nature, you can tell that this is a strange creature that is not humanoid, but unfortunately that's about as much information as you glean. Nadia, it is entirely up to you what you do and don't notice, because you already know exactly what this is.
I think Nadia visibly looks panicked. I think her eyes go wide and she goes even paler. And I think she does that for a moment, and then I think she is going to cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
I would like to make myself look exactly like Luca. Just in the face. Keep everything else the same. The hair and the build and everything, I'm already there. I'm just changing my face to look like Luca. Not exactly, but like Luca's twin.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe like a different freckles or something like that, but
So when you activate your magic is a little special. What does your disguise self look like? How does that transformation take place?
I think it looks like rain falling on her face, like just like a heavy rain falls, and as the rain falls, her real features melt away and are hidden.
Whoa.
But it is the best way I think I can describe it.
Excellent. So you invoke the weave within yourself, and you begin to melt away, revealing a Luca lookalike could easily pass as their twin.
Can you help me?
The person in front of you puts their hand to their mouth and giggles. Just Tamoira. What are you doing?
I'm not gonna turn around.
Um,
I'm gonna, I think, make eye contact with Durad and just mouth, "Help me."
Tam Tamoira. Um,
Are you talking to me, sir?
of of course I'm talking to you.
I don't believe we know each other.
You you're you 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 realize you were standing in front of me when you changed, right? Like I saw you before.
I don't know what you're talking.
T- Tamoira, you know I love a prank just as good as the next, but I'm I'm not I'm not laughing. This is this is a little
How
much
would I
now.
know that?
You've
I
got
don't
to
know
come home.
you. I don't know you.
I Tamoira, I don't understand what you're doing here, but it's time to come home.
Nope.
May I
Nope.
interject?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Yes, go ahead.
Uh,
I don't know who
that was out
this
of
person won't
character.
stop bothering
Oh
me.
yes.
Uh, Luca would move between uh, Nadia
Oh.
and this Fae and
Okay.
would vocalize, "You've no business here, Fae. She doesn't know you."
My
Do
apologies.
you?
My sister can be very protective.
I'll leave this up to you. Do you want to roll an intimidation check?
I would love to roll intimidation check.
Yes. Let's go. Oh shit! That's a 19. All right, let's see how they do. Shit. Advantage on being free.
While this is happening, can I summon Cabbage?
You sure as shit can describe cabbage.
This,
Wait,
uh,
what?
Cabbage is a Tressum. He's my familiar. He's like all black, but he's got little blue bits around him, and he is the most crankiest little fucker that ever existed. And that's him. Tressum is just like a winged house cat.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
I didn't
I need
hear any of
Cabbage.
that.
Oh. Oh. One more time. I heard you, but
You heard me?
it sounds like
I
we
heard
did
you.
not.
Well, one more time for Tamoira. Um,
It's like it's muted.
my
Hang on.
Cabbage is my familiar.
This might be a me issue. 1 second.
Hold on, am I muted?
We
Uh-oh.
can. The
You're not
rest of us can
muted.
hear you just fine.
No, I'm not muted. Okay. Yeah, I have a picture of Cabbage. I need to get it into. Is there somewhere we're putting art eventually?
Yeah,
You hear me now?
Sorry, not sure what happened.
it's
But
all
you
good.
can
But
hear
you
me
can hear
now.
us now, though, right?
Yes, I can hear everybody.
Excellent.
So while Luca's gonna
Hit me with it
come,
one more time.
while Luca is gonna interject there, I'm gonna summon my familiar, which is Cabbage, who's a Tressum, a little black winged cat with like blue tips, and he is the swankiest little cat that ever was. And trust him, what he is. And yeah, I need Cabbage to come here for a minute, and then I would also position myself. Durad's gonna move kind of now, seeing the interaction to kind of off to the side of Nadia, within arm's reach, and kind of face the sister and kind of help Luca in this moment to create kind of like a
Okay.
shield here.
Okay. So you're almost like arrow pointing uh, in front of
Well,
Nadia.
yeah. Between I'm kind of be off to the side between Nadia and Luca,
Got it.
right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. And then, Kensu, how are you reacting in this situation? You have as a member of the security or counselor of security, and you help out counselor of foreigns. You are a prominent um, figure in this city. One could even be considered an authority in this city. So, how do you take this?
Does the Fae seem to be threatening in any way? I know
No,
Nadia is not at all. Okay.
no. They look
Then I'm
confused.
okay. I'm going to reserve judgment and not assume anything yet. Just kind of analyze the situation and make sure I'm ready in case things somehow go weird. But
Okay,
I'm going to see how this conversation plays out first.
got it. So you're kind of just like waiting at the ready for anything that happens. You're
Yeah,
just taking it all in, no matter which way you need to go. You're ready.
right.
Um, Perfect. Um, and as a someone who has professionally guarded ambassadors to other countries, this is not new for you. This is no roles necessary. This is what you do. This is your job.
Right.
Perfect. The Fae turns to look at you, Luca, and says, "How do you know what I am? Did Tamoira tell you?"
I don't know what you are, but I know you have the potential to be something greater than I am. But I'm not moving.
You see him take a step back, as that 19 intimidation is actually higher than his wisdom save, even with advantage. And he kind of just retreats just a little bit. Not like actually leaving, but like in body language, just kind of being a little more cautious of the situation now. And they try to look over your shoulder, Luca, and say, Tamuira, when you're done with whatever joke you're playing, just come on home. And then kind of looks back to Luca and kind of like, jumps back a little bit and then turns and leaves, leaving you all alone in the street. And as he leaves, there's a moment where leaves kind of pick up as this entire city is under a tree, so there's constantly leaves falling. They're enchantments to keep it from cluttering the street, but they still flow. And you'll see a slew of them change colors around him, and then he's just gone.
Go.
Kenzie.
What color were they, and what color did they change to?
Ooh. So it is currently late summer, starting to turn fall. So they're like a bright green. There might even be some like yellow coming down the stems of the leaves. But as they dropped, they became like a deep, lush green with the other side of the leaf being a deep, lush red. And as it would spin through the air, it would be a different color every time it turned.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, last question.
Yes.
As somebody who lives in this city, um, uh, that the color that they change to, is that a color that the leaves naturally turn to during the right time of year?
Um, it is possible to see that deep lush green, but that deep red has never ever been on the late tree, not once.
Okay.
The late tree is so filled with life energy that it never sheds all of its leaves. It's just like gently falling all year round, all the time. It'll
Okay.
it'll go through some color changes, but nothing crazy like you would see in like Midwestern autumn, right? Like there's no exuberant, out of the way wacky purples or reds or anything like that. It stays mostly neutral, greens and yellows.
Okay.
Great question, by the way. Great question. Um,
Does the sun exit in a seasonal uh, flare? Is that familiar at all to Luca?
it actually would be. there is something familiar to it that calls back to your Eladrin ancestry.
Nadia, dear, you know that person.
No, I've never met that person before in my life.
And
Inside check.
insight.
And Nadia, you're not lying, so you don't need to roll a deception. I'll just kind of set a general DC.
15.
15?
I got a 4.
4! Oh no! You know what? I'll do the 4 first. Can't tell. Nadia is, long before you rolled this insight, a very strange person. And kind of hard to read after only knowing them for a few minutes. 23 Kensu. What is...
What?
Expertise, man.
Expertise
Expertise.
and insight. Wow, that's good. That's good. Alright, we'll do Durod next with the 15. Durod, you are pretty sure Nadia's telling the truth. But there's also something she's hiding, but you're pretty sure she's never met that person in their life. Kensu. Nadia knows exactly why they were here, and you also get that Nadia's never met that specific person, but knows exactly who they, in a broader sense, are, even if she doesn't know who that is. And there's, like, no surprise or secrecy here is with your 23 on Nadia.
Okay. So it's like she knew, I'm not saying this is what they were, but she knew they were the cops, but she's never met that cop before. Kind of
Sure,
situation.
close enough, yeah.
I'm not saying they
Yeah.
were
Dude, that's
cops.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
no, I
That's
get what
good.
you're saying, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that sort of, like, I know what organization
No,
you're
that's-
part of, I know who you are, I just don't know
Right.
you personally. Yeah, that is surprisingly well put
That's actually
metaphor.
yeah.
That's good.
Not that I've had any experience with the police whatsoever.
Not
Uh, he Kensu will then speak up. He seen the name he or the word he used, the name that seems familiar to you, though. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Do you? He seems surprised to see you, so I don't think he was here for you. Do you know why someone like him would be in this city? It wasn't
I
him,
don't.
right? At a game.
Hard to say. I haven't the scientist while he's here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you believe him to be a threat to the city?
That's a fair question, Jensen.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm sure.
Anybody be a threat to anything if they were mad enough.
I know
Okay.
few things and less about Fae, but I know they are dangerous, tricky, deceitful.
Not deceitful.
I'm sorry. Do we all speak Elvish here?
That would be so
Yes.
much more convenient because I barely speak ancient tongue.
I I was trying to be courteous. I know I do. Kenshu, did you ever pick up the language or no?
I speak Elvish, yeah.
Let's. I think
It's more it's
in our
more
current
comfortable for
company,
me
let's
than
switch over
common
to
anyways too.
Elvish. Perfect. So in Elvish then. Uh, Kensu, I'm interested in this little bit you have going on here, and it seems we have it seems we have some help. Lou, your I don't know if I ever caught your name, Gerardo. A gesture over to Luca. I don't believe I've ever caught your name.
I am Luca Nata.
Luca.
Weird name.
Luca, no, it's a very good name. I am Durad. I live here in the city. Um, what perchance are you doing here? You seem to be well armed and well good at what you do. Is there a purpose? Do you have something you're doing here?
I am lost, but where there's people, I can ply my trade and survive. There
Your
are
trade.
possibly too many people here,
Eh,
but
it's quite easy to get lost in the shuffle here in the city. How much did you make today in your money in your trade?
I don't remember exactly how much I made.
I think it was like 18 silver or something like that. I remember you rolled 2d12 for it.
I have this much, and she holds out a purse.
Out of character, Ross. We're speaking in Elvish. We all speak
Uh,
Elvish. We're gonna unless
we
that's
are speaking Elvish, but she seems unfamiliar with
Coinage.
coinage.
coin. That makes sense. Durad will look. You said it was a. I have notes for it. Hold on. It's a bucket. Is it a bucket? I have
It
notes.
it's a it's a purse that
Sturdy
stands on
leather.
its own.
A stiff walled purse. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Uh, I'll look in there and take a peek at what it is. Um, I have an offer for you. I will pay you 5 times that, and you come and help me and my friend Kensu here.
There's a
5 times.
slight there's a slight eye roll from Kinsu when he said it.
I'm sure there is. I'm trying to fleece the absolute shit out of you right now.
I'm gonna roll an insight, and if my last roll is any indication, I am going to be very impressed by your offer.
Is this deception that I get to roll?
I imagine.
Yeah, because while you're not necessarily lying, you're being deceitful about the appropriate wage to pay
Yep.
someone with Lucas
Oh,
talents.
absolutely. I see
So
an
yeah,
easy mark.
100%. Oh, 15's good. Although
I
knowing Durod, I'm scared of this deception roll.
I roll with advantage
Oh,
with
okay. I
deception.
saw that
So there's
10
an
and I almost missed the 18.
no, I get to roll with advantage on deception. So that's an 18.
Oh,
That's a very good insight though. Shit.
yeah? It's really good insight. And it's close. I would say you can tell that Durod is undervaluing how much money they're supposed to be paying you, but with an 18 deception, you think it's only by a little bit. It's not really like that big of a deal. It's whatever.
I am learning about coins. If I learn that this is not enough coins, we will renegotiate. And Luca will
Ah,
crack her fingers when she says renegotiate.
yes. Is renegotiate always. That's part of the business. Understandable.
Kinsu is going to like friendly slap Durad on the shoulder. Kensu, or I mean, Durad loves negotiating, I'm sure he will give you a fair price.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Kensu, real quick, because I was so busy trying to get all the technical stuff figured out for last session, I actually missed something that I had planned for your intro. The vice chancellor would have given you a version, a miniature version of Ascending Stone that goes directly to him, and it's usable twice per long rest.
Okay.
And it's just a
He gave
little.
you a shitty burner
but
phone.
it's like sending, so you have like a limited character that you can use, but you get 2 of them, so that way you can at least reply to ascending.
Okay.
He
All
gave
right.
you
I'll
a
get that
fucking
added.
gas station SIM card.
Yeah.
That's so dope. That's so funny.
Oh gosh.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
of course we can renegotiate. Obviously, as time goes on, your value will increase as an employee or contract. We'll arrange a contract. That'll be good. We'll have a clause for you. But as for the time being, Kensu, we have one.
We do have one.
Durod will turn and look to Nadia. Nadia, dear, you were sent to find me, and I believe you should just come with us to where we're going. How does that sound for you?
It's fine. Are you going to pay me like you're paying, I'm agreeing to go with you.
Oh, I'm sure Gerard would have no problem paying you as well.
Mm. Out of,
Oh shit.
you know, it's been a day. I will match the rate that I'm going to pay Luca Nata. And I
I
will
don't want
also
that.
write a contract with you. We can negotiate as terms later. Does that sound
I don't want
appropriate?
that. No, what am I going to
Same
do with
deal.
little bits of metal?
Oh, you don't understand money either.
I do, I just don't see use for it. I haven't needed it yet.
Since depending on what you need it to do. Most people just spend it and buy food or things and clothes. There's other things that you can do with money, but first we'll learn you how to buy a meal.
That seems silly. Usually I just smile nicely and bat my eyelashes and people give things to me and I don't have to pay them anything.
That might work where you're from, dear. That won't work here. I assure you.
It's worked
Uh,
here.
you know,
Times.
it might.
It's remarkably easy to find a warm bed to sleep in as long as you're nice enough.
I will ponder that statement for a hot second. I stand corrected. Yeah, okay.
I don't want
Uh,
coin, I want something else.
well, then what is it you want, dear? And then Durad will kind of like lean in a little bit.
Could you give me? I'm an interesting man.
I'm
Like
in the
you must
business
have
of
access to interesting things.
seems that we should have this discussion somewhere less open, private. Perhaps,
I want to know what I'm getting before I go anywhere with you.
well, hmm, you would get a very good deal. And it depends on what you want. To be frank, to Moira, I'm in the business of getting people what it is they want. I don't offer things to people. I get them what it is they want. So you tell me what you want, and you can get that. Simple enough. And then he'll lean back and kind of stand up. Now, what do you want?
Favor.
Favors I can do. Those are easy enough.
Agree then. You'll give me a favor.
An unconditional favor. Is this what you're asking of me? Anything. We'll have to work on some
Conditions would you
limitations.
set?
Obviously,
Conditions
the
would you ever
favor
set?
can't be. You can't have your favor be taking control of anything that I have built. There would have to be reasoning, but obviously we can make something happen. Again, we're in a street and there's bodies, and guards are now picking up bodies. We should not be here for much longer.
Where did the other guy go that was here? I mean, he was quite. I mean, I know I don't know if we're done recruiting, but he handled himself quite well in that battle.
Out of character, did we hear him say that he was going
Yes, he
to inter the
very
body?
very explicitly
Very
said,
clearly.
"I'm going to
Okay, I wanted
inter
to make
this body
sure.
in the graveyard."
He, he said he was going to inter the body at the graveyard. So I'm sure we can find him there. Should we go that way? See if we can find him?
Yeah, I mean, do you think I mean, if he accepts, should that be the limit to the group size? We don't want anything too big if we're going to be approaching SEMA, but
So five is that should be fair enough. I think that'll be good. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you are the financial backer of this expedition, so I
No,
figured,
no, no, I'm not the financial backer. Apparently, I didn't know this was happening.
oh,
Kenzu, this was just sprung on me today. I
what a coincidence. So yeah, but I wasn't. The government didn't give me any funds to support this, so
I'll kind of slap Kenzu on the back. Government any funds to do anything either. And then we'll leave it at that.
What are you paying me to do?
That's a good question,
How,
actually.
how about bodyguard? Is that should be simple? That's simple. Keep yourself and us alive.
you know,
The
I
same for
get
me.
I get paid to be a bodyguard. Do I get anything, Durad, or
You're already being paid to be a bodyguard. You don't get
oh,
the double dip into the coffer.
oh,
You're
oh,
already getting a free suit.
oh, right. Well, you still owe me the peach one, so
That's the one. And I can't make it until we get back.
okay,
Uh
fair enough.
Now Durad is gonna like throw his head back and he's gonna like face palm and he's just gonna now realize that like his anniversary and all this is coming up and all he has to leave and everything has to still happen and function without him here and now he has to be back at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Now Durad feels rushed. And Kensu, should we tally on?
Yeah. The time. I mean, there's missing people, so yeah, let's take it a little bit more seriously, I suppose.
All right.
I hate when there's seriousness to be had.
Mm.
Why can't everything just be simple black and white transactions? Anyway, and then Durad and we'll start hopefully leading to the graveyard.
Perfect. We're gonna bounce back to you, Thane. If I remember correctly, before you got interrupted by Sandrakes, you were looking around to see if the Agranarian blood sport has made its way here to Dendris. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I changed my mind.
Okay.
So I was actually making my way back to where the fight happened. So I should be fairly close, if not rounding the corner here by now.
Yeah, you should actually. Yeah, it's a little bit of a walk, but they had a long, lengthy discussion with themselves. So yeah, you would kind of meet each other about halfway. Not even halfway. You'd like go a little bit away from Red Street and then run into Thane.
Right in the thing. Just the man we're looking for. My my friend here, Kentu, has a proposition, and we're recruiting for said proposition. You seem to be of able nature. Do you have any previous engagements within the city? Or your services for hire, my friend?
They can be, yes.
Well, what is your price?
What is the nature of the thing we need me to do?
Gerard will quickly run through that there's the towns that are disappearing people, and that Kensu is being told, go check this out, and he's coming. Just the quick bare bones of that.
Yeah.
I can
And then
I can check my notes if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 3 towns now.
there's 3
It
towns.
was, yeah.
Pretty sure it's 3 towns now.
I have 3 towns now, and I have the name of one, and I can't remember. It's in my book, but yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'll explain that, and then ask, what. At this point, Thurad's been beaten down out of everything. He just says, "What would you want to come with us if you're willing?"
Contemplative.
Mm-mm. Thane he's thinking about it. He says you need a bodyguard, or you need the services of a cleric on this expedition.
Oh, I didn't realize that you were a cleric. Both. Yes, you fit the bill for both.
To be honest, we don't
Very well.
fully know what we're going to be encountering, so best to be as prepared as possible.
That's a very fair point. Yes, we're covering all angles.
Well, so open my way to other things, I suppose. My engagements here in the city can wait. Payment can be discussed later. At a more convenient opportunity. I'm not opposed to hashing that out at a different time.
That's fair enough. Do you have further business to attend to? Kensu, when are we supposed to embark? Should we should gather supplies. We should leave in the morning, right, Kensu?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
No. Do you have business to handle here? I see that you're taking care of the bodies.
Yes, I'll be helping out the grave keepers, grave wardens this evening. There were more attacks that happened to the city at this time.
That was very noble of you, cleric. What is your name, by the way? I believe you. I asked you.
You did. It's Thane.
It must have slipped my mind. Thane Underrot. When you are finished here, if you want to discuss your payments and you are interested still in joining us, I have a shop on Red Street. You can't miss it. My name is on the front. I will be there. I'm sure most of us might be there at point. Feel free to come on in. I'll let Jeremy know that you're coming, and we can discuss anything you need to discuss then. And hopefully we'll get everything situated, and we'll be prepared to leave in the morning. And I'll look over at Kensu and kind of nod, in the morning.
Thane will say, that sounds fine with me. I'll see you in the morning then, Durod.
Wonderful. Well, I want to get out of this graveyard.
Oh no, we're in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. We're in the
yeah.
street. We met in the street. Water, so nix that. That didn't happen.
Yep.
I didn't say that. Then yeah, I'll turn to look to everyone else, and should we go prepare for this? I suppose you have free use of my my building on Red Street. I'll be there this evening. You guys can freely come. I'll let Jeremy know of the situation, and I have things to take care of.
Free use.
Yes, you can come and go as you please within my shop. I have a studio off to the side there. It would be cramped if everyone decided to crash on my couch, but it could be done. I don't know where anyone is staying, but the offer is there
Thane will say, "I will see you all in the morning,"
in the morning. Fair enough.
and then he'll nod to all of you as a collective group, and then go back the way he came.
Very well. And with the four of you approaching Durad's shop, I think we're actually going to go with Thane. Thane, where are you heading?
Back to the graveyard. He'll be spending the rest of the day uh, uh, saying prayers to the cycle and passing on, helping out with the graveyard duties as more bodies come in, of the bodies that come in.
Right. Okay. And then for that night, I assume you're sleeping in the crypt you rented?
Yes.
Very good. Um, we will leave your activities to the imagination. And we will return back to Durand. The building, not the person. You
Right.
all walk,
No, it's
all of you, Durand included, walk into Durand, and are greeted with Jeremy's.
all of the Jeremys.
Now that everyone's here, I kind of gave like a really brief description when we were here earlier. But like now everyone can see the shop, so why don't you tell me what your shop looks like? This is your pride and joy.
Shoot, on the spot. Okay. So it's got that very like Frisco like frontage, with the bubble windows on the side and the insert kind of where the door is, and that's where the ad space is in the window there. And as you go in, it is a very lush. Is there carpet? Does carpet exist?
Yeah, carpet exists.
It exists. Okay.
Yeah.
So then there is like a very. It's almost like Gerard's suit. His colors are his favorite color combination is like the blue and cream, but the floor is like this really beautiful blue carpet, and the walls are actually tinted silver, not so much cream. But there is uh, uh, suits and racks, and none of them are finished. They're all partly finished. They don't have the shimmer. Is it shimmer weave?
Void weave.
Is that what it's called? Void weave. They don't have the void weave in them. These are just like the off the rack. You come in here, this will fit. You want a customization, we'll add it. And then as you go back past there's the fitting pedestal and the windows and beautiful rosewood and inlaid and everything. It is to the absolute nines in here. And all the Jeremys that like present themselves are like straight, you know, button to belt all the way down in a line. The rod runs a very tight ship here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got wonderful like soft like candlelight range, but it's brighter than candlelight. It's just gorgeous. He loves it in here.
What's I already know this, but for the rest of your party and for everyone watching, what is the price range of an average void weave suit?
Average? Are you talking
Yeah,
about
so
one
like
off
one
the
of your
rack?
custom pieces, because
A
let's be fair,
custom?
not a lot of people actually come in and buy her off the racks. It
No,
really
nobody comes
doesn't
by.
happen that often. Like,
No,
what's a blue?
posers come and buy off the rack. That's what
Right,
happens.
right.
Uh,
So for one
which
of
is great.
the real Durad suits, what's like the average price range?
I mean, it's in. Did we settle on that out of character?
I
Did we
don't think
settle
we
where that would
did.
be?
That's
I
up to
mean,
you. I
it's.
kind of gave you a range, but really it's up to you.
I mean, it's. They're not cheap. They're between like 2 and 10,000 gold.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of money. There is a lot of money in one of those suits. If you see someone in that, they put a lot of money in that suit.
Mm-hmm. And it's worth what it costs. Void weave is a tremendous material, and whether it is or is not, Durad's skill is not um, a show. It's not a joke. Um, these are very, very well made. So you all walk into the shop, and there are many different types of Jeremys, all ready to provide assistance to your every whim. What do you guys do now that you're here in the shop?
Nadia points at the Jeremys, and then sort of turns to Gerard and goes, "They're your pets."
No, they're my employees. Employees are
What's the
people that
difference?
you pay to do things for you. Kind of like we're in a contract for the favor. We have. It
Not in
seems
a,
you have a lot to
we're
learn.
not in a contract yet.
Eventually, hopefully. But yes, they're my employees. I have a contract with them. I pay them. They take care of the things around the shop.
Do suits have prices on them?
Yes, like the ones on the rack. Yeah, like those ones. They're cheap, but there's probably the ones like in the window or anything that's on a pedestal in here on a mannequin would definitely have it would be a custom piece and it would have a very high price tag.
So
You pay
they
them.
are publicly
Things
facing
orderly.
prices.
Oh yeah. There's a nice little handwritten in calligraphy, little tag that's wrapped around a button, so there's no puncture in the material, and it's usually just right around here on the top, so you can see it without having to fluff around and find it.
Right.
You pay them to keep things orderly.
Yes, of course I do.
Like a waste of coin. I'm so occupied with it.
Well, if I were to keep things orderly, it would be a waste of my time. I trade my time for money,
Of
and
course.
money for my time.
Why not just use magic?
I do use magic. I use magic quite a bit. You'll see.
I don't know.
Gerard will turn to Jeremy's real quick and say, anything they need, you are to go and get. We're leaving the shop, and he'll look at Irons specifically and say, Irons, I'm going out. You know what to do. We're going to compile a list, and we're going to need you guys to go and grab that stuff for us, and then we'll be in contact. We'll be leaving in the morning.
Renner will give you a tap on the shoulder and lean in and say, anything they want, as in, like, keep them happy, or, like, anything they want, as in, like, business card, anything they want? In between. I can work with in between.
Keep it reasonable, Renner. I'm not trying to go broke here. I don't think I'm going to make any money off of it.
All right. Whatever you say. And with that, Kensu, what are you doing?
Um, I don't have any need to hang out in the shop, so I would first go to make sure that my mount is ready for the departure tomorrow.
Yes.
And then I'd like to check in with the city guard just to find out the extent, since I've heard that there are more than just the attack that we dealt with, and see, one, if it's under control, two, if they know the source of how those beasts got here, or if they have any indication of why it happened.
Interesting. Okay, you find a lieutenant of the guard, and they turn and they almost shoo you away before they recognize you, and then they immediately salute. Um, uh, Master Kensu, what can I do for you?
Well, it appears that there's been some attacks in the city by some creatures not native to the, and I'm really just looking to get a status report on if it's contained what caused it all,
Of
and
course, sir. Of course, sir. Um, i if you will, follow me for a moment.
okay,
Leads you into one of the tents that they've set up as temporary barracks to deploy into the city because they usually stay like on the edges of the city limits. Um, it's usually not considered acceptable in polite society for guards and soldiers to just be marching through the streets. So they usually keep to the outside edges, but they have temporary tents for like forward operating bases. And inside, you see um, one of the guards' few wizards that they have employed. Um, as remember, most leveled characters, most people that can manipulate the weave, are pretty rare. So there's only a few hundred in this city, and this city has a population of damn near 1 million. And there's like maybe 150 people that can do magic in the city, maybe a little bit more. And So this is one of the guards' wizards, and they cast um, a spell that you recognize that is used to block out any scrying or divination or people eavesdropping and stuff like that.
okay,
And they'll say, "All right, we're free to talk, Master Kensu. Um, we have, in fact, uncovered enough information to say for certain that this was a coordinated and planned attack, and that all of the creatures were portaled here from elsewhere. We're not sure as of yet who did it. We do not have any solid um, leads on who it might be, but the captain of the guard here in this sector has actually found um, reason to believe that they know where the summoning took place, and they're sending a detachment of our elites to go bust down the doors and go find out what's going on.
was what so was it done within the city?
It was done within the city, which
Interesting.
shouldn't be possible. Any conjuration or teleportation magic within city limits has to have a specific glyph that is expressly given to them by the city, so that way they can get past our barriers that we have around this ancient city. It should not have been possible for them to do this within the city unless they had one of those glyphs. And each one is tailor made. It's not like they could look at someone else's and then figure out how to implement it themselves. If they were to try to use yours, it would fail.
So if the captain is successful, we might be able to pinpoint which glyph was used, then therefore pinpoint who.
Yes, and if we're lucky, the perpetrator is still there packing up their evidence. I'm sure an attack of this scale required a level of professionalism that they're probably not there anymore, but we can hope. And even if we're not, we're hoping, like you said, to figure out which glyph was used. And then that'll take some time to go through the register database. There's a lot of them. It could take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours, sir. I apologize, but that's as fast as we can get it.
No, I understand. It is troubling. It's either somebody new to the city, or the unthinkable is it's somebody that's been here a while and they've betrayed the city.
That is unfortunately looking like the most likely suspect, as those glyphs aren't just given out to anyone. You should know, sir, you were in the service for how many years before they gave you your own personal teleportation glyph?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And are you are you able to help out? I know you're not technically a part of the guards, but we could really use an expert hand like yours.
I don't have to leave out until tomorrow, so
Perfect.
if you
We should
need
only
if
need some
you,
help for like an hour. Just if you could help us direct our forces more efficiently. Um, we know that you have a lot of experience with that. It It just caught us all by surprise, sir. I apologize. We weren't more prepared. We never expected a mass attack like this coming from inside the city. We just weren't
No,
prepared.
totally understandable. I will do whatever I can to help.
Oh, one more thing before I drop the barrier, sir. We have estimated death count. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Estimated death count is currently at 140, sir.
Hmm. It's been out of game. It's probably been a while since the city has sustained.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
and that was with really decent response times from the city guard. It
right.
140. That's a lot. Which kind of gives you a scope of how big of an area this affected, because the only way that many could die is if there were too many incidents for the guards to respond to all of them, and they had to triage different
Right.
sites.
Okay. Seeing that the wizard is really like taken aback by how large the number is, Kensu will just kind of, you know, reassure him, touch on, like grab him the shoulder, just,
Yeah,
this.
it's you reaching out is by itself a comforting gesture. But for someone so low on the food chain like this, having someone like you reassure him, you can see the weight come off of his shoulders, and he's like, "Okay, we can do this." Okay,
All right, now let's get to work.
of course. Um, Luca, what are you doing at this particular time?
God.
Yes.
It is time to renegotiate. With what you are paying me, I cannot even afford one of these shimmer suits.
Why would you want to?
Nobody can afford these shimmers. Oh,
Know why
nobody
you'd
can
want
afford
to,
them.
even if you could.
I do not want a shimmer suit, but I do want to be paid what I am worth.
Rod will nod, and then he'll excuse himself and go back into the back his office. And he'll come out with
Nadia is gonna turn. While he's gone, Nadia is gonna turn to Luke and go, "You ever heard of a union?"
I know no one here well enough to marry them, tribe sister.
I'd be open, but that wasn't what I was considering. What I mean is, often, well, it's usually artisans, but I think what we're doing is definitely a skilled sort of trade. Will stand together in solidarity and refuse to ply their services until all in question are paid fairly.
This
doesn't know
sounds
money but knows the union.
this
Fuck me running.
sounds
They are weird.
I'm gonna get fleeced.
I believe that if you and I stood together to negotiate, we could negotiate much higher for both of us.
then I will stand by you.
I will do
And
the
you will
same for you.
stand by me.
I will. I will not work until you are paid fairly, and you will do the same.
So Jason, are you?
Nadia will extend a hand to shake.
Oh no!
I mean, Rod's not there at this point. He's off in his room. He doesn't know this conversation just happened. He's
Yeah.
gonna come back out with what he intended to come back out with, which is just 2 sacks of fucking
Doesn't
20
extend a
gold.
hand. Doesn't extend a hand to shake. She extends a hand to like sort of a forearm out to like grasp forearms.
Luca would reach forward and enthusiastically grip Nadia's forearm with possibly like too much grip, and enthusiastically shake it.
Excellent. Your commitment to this is promising.
I love this.
And when
So
Durod
yeah, Durod,
arrives, Luca will loudly proclaim, Nadia and I are in a union.
to each their own. Ever floats your boat. Not thinking union as in unionizing, thinking union as in marriage.
Oh
Oh
no!
man, what if the Jeremys unionize? Oh my god.
Oh
Right,
no!
right.
I'm so glad you put that idea in my mind.
Little do you know, Irons is sitting there in the corner like, it's not a
The
bad
fuck is he
Yeah, this
saying?
conversation's happening
Irons
in
doesn't want this
earshot
smoke.
of at least
Irons
a
doesn't
couple of
want this
Jeremys,
smoke.
I'm assuming.
Uh, so Rod returns, and with what he originally planned, I was just 20 gold. You know, 2 sacks of 20 gold. Uh, how about this? Will this do for you? And he'll hand them each over in gesture to both you, to Luca and Nadia.
Luca will look to
Could you
Nadia.
find this satisfactory?
I
I don't think I do.
I will listen to you, tribe sister. We do not find this satisfactory.
Yes.
Huh. Nadia, you said you didn't want coin. You wanted a favor. Do you know what it is that you want?
It's not.
If you
I
don't
want
know that,
a favor of my choice within set terms as it becomes necessary.
uh, I have an idea, an experiment. Would you mind, joining me in my office for a quick moment? The door can stay open, whatever you feel. I just, I have a question for you that needs to be private. And I will gesture to my back office.
All right.
Gerard will lead you back to his office, and he'll go around back behind his desk, and he will pull out uh, a quill and a parchment, and just plain, no parchment, nothing. It's empty. And he will take the quill that's on the little floating stand and pull it up off the floating stand and hand it to you, and uh, just hand it out for you to take it.
Is this for me?
Yes, I just want to know how. I have an experiment. Would you be so kind as to just write your name anywhere on this paper? Or any word. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a name. It could be pineapple.
I just want to confirm. I know how to write.
Yeah, you know how to write. Yeah, that was included in your studies.
Right. Okay. Oh, write out Drod's name.
Any name. It doesn't matter.
I write out Drod's name.
When you're done, I will flip the paper over and ask you to put the quill down. And I'll look at you and say, do you want to know what it is that you really want? I ask this if you want to know what you truly want.
Do you have
Is that
a
what
Pirates
this
of the Caribbean
feather
pen?
does? Is that what the feather does? Tells me what I truly
Do you
want.
want to know? You said you wanted a favor. I asked you what it is that you wanted. We have an opportunity to know what it is that you want, which could be the favor. Do you want to know?
I think I already do know what it is I want.
I will speak the command word
I also think
for
it's a
the.
very dangerous thing to tell another person your deepest desire.
I will speak the command word and turn around, and the pen will go ahead and start writing out what it is that you want.
But Durod turns their back, so Durod's not reading this.
I'm not reading it. I turn
Okay.
around. As soon as I speak the word and I see the pen start to lift, I turn around and let it do its thing so she can pick it up and read it and see what if that is what it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's all a game, man. You've walked into the spider's web.
Nadia.
Before I do this, I want to know the full extent of the powers of this item.
Uh,
Oh,
Is it
no,
too late
let me
for that?
find it.
huh?
Is it too late
I
for
mean,
that? Am I already into it?
He already spoke the command word.
it's done. It's done. And I'm not looking. You can do whatever you want with this piece of paper. Throw it away, burn it, eat it, smoke a joint. Don't care. I don't even want to know what's on the paper. You need to know what's on the paper. That's all it is.
I know what's going to be on the paper. I'm fully. The problem here isn't that I don't know what I want.
Well,
I want.
you say that. B, what is what's on the paper the same thing that Nadia thinks it is? Is Nadia self-aware enough for it to be the same thing that she's thinking as what shows up in the paper? The paper specifically, if I remember the wording correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, is that it tells you what you desire most, or not
Desire
specifically.
mode.
Yeah, desire most. Specifically,
At
whoever
the
the
time.
last person to touch the quill was.
At the time of when they touched it.
At the time
That
when
is
they
the,
touched it.
that is key. It's not ongoing. It's when you touch it. And so if I wait like 10 weeks or a year to tell it to do its thing, it's not gonna be what it is.
Right.
Not that time.
People change.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what it says. I think Nadia is expecting it.
Ooh. Well,
Is expecting it.
is or is not expecting it.
I think Nadia is not expecting it.
Oh.
I'll take your silence as contemplation. No.
Oh, it's just that this paper is stupid and it doesn't work.
If I had a topper for every time I've heard that.
What happened?
Oh, I've heard it quite a bit. I keep forgetting. You probably don't know idioms either. You are a strange person. Anyway, do you just want more money, or do you perhaps want
Oh,
what you want? And now Darad will start to slowly turn around, giving Nadia enough time to
I'm gonna shove the
hide.
piece of paper into her mouth and
Right, slowly turn around so that, like, in your mouth?
eat it.
Do you swallow?
Are you, like, still chewing
Yeah.
it as I.
Please.
The speed of that, made Speedy Gonzalez look like a fucking snail.
I'll,
Oh my
Darad will,
yeah.
I'll wait until you're done eating what it is. The
Always
paper.
swallow. He always swallows.
Wow. That's
Um,
amazing.
Fun.
and then Dorado will open up a drawer and he'll pull out another little sack with some gold and say, "Is it money or is it what you want? Is it gold?"
No.
No, not gold.
You
The
know of
favor.
magic that could prevent a person location from being found?
Yes, I'm aware of such magic.
You give it
I
to me.
myself don't have it. I could find it.
You get it?
I could acquire it for you. I could acquire that for you. Is that what it is that you want?
Now, what are the terms of my service with you? What is it that you would ask?
Well,
of me?
as it stands, what I know is we're going to investigate a town with missing people. That's what I know. Kensu has more information. If you would wish to ask him more of the details, I just know that apparently I am the financier of this endeavor, and I've been sent
Mm.
by higher than those. higher than me to go and check this out. And I would love for you to join me. Now, I can get this magic for you. This is no problem. It will be time. I have to find it first. But if this is what you want, we can make this our arrangement.
Didn't answer my question.
I'm sorry. What was the original question?
What would you ask of me? I'm in your service.
Keep
You're
yourself
the one
alive.
who-
Keep yourself alive. Keep the rest of us alive.
That's all.
In that order. In that order. It is imperative that it must maintain that order. Otherwise, it all falls apart.
That's all.
That is a very broad net. And I believe it encompasses most things that can encounter, especially when you're dealing with SEMA. I mean, stay alive. You're probably going to have to fight. I'm hoping not.
The thing about broad nets is that a lot of fish can slip through.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Well, you might have to kill someone. You might not have to. You might have to break into something. You might not have to. You might have to lie or cheat or steal. You might not have to. I don't know. But stay alive. All of those can be wrapped up in stay alive. Are you understanding?
I think you're a very poor businessman. Sure.
Sure.
Splendid. Splendid. I will reach back, grab my bell, and whichever Jeremy comes first, I will have him come to me and I will tell him I need him to start looking into can't think of a magic item that has that effect of I can't think of the spell.
I
Vice
believe
That
it's
she
proof
basically.
against location and detection or something? Proof against
start
something and detection. Something.
right. Put the word out. We need to find one,
Okay.
and send him on his way. And then gesture to Miss Nadia. If we're in agreement, I believe I now have to make a deal with your partner, your union partner. And then I'll do the same thing with Luca. I'll ask Luca. I'll ask you if you want to come back to the office. Or actually, Nadia, what do you tell Luca when you go out there? Sorry.
No, it's good.
Touch anything in there. Going to tell you to sign something. Do it.
You said do it?
Said don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't
Keep
do
your
it.
hands to yourself. Touch anything in there. Use it against you.
Luca, nod, stand up real straight, march into Durad's office.
Ask for 50 gold.
What
What'd
does
you
that
say?
be?
Ask for 50 gold. That's just as much as he gave, plus more.
Do the same. Go around the thing, and I'll look right at you, Luca. I've struck a deal with your partner here. What is it that you want? You want to renegotiate. How much more is it that you would like to be paid, Luca Nada?
I will accept the current payment if you can do something for me.
Ah! And eyes kind of light up a little bit. What is it that you need done?
I wish to go home.
You can't go home?
I don't
Where is
know.
home? Well, where is home, dear?
Ever Arbor? It is a place very different from here.
Hold on. Ever Arbor.
The infamous notebooks.
Now, would I have ever heard of this, DM?
No.
And it's
Oh, what's that? A
Ever
natural 20? No.
Ever Arbor? Ever Arbor. Huh. Huh. Um, I can't believe I'm familiar with Ever Arbor. I'm sure we can find a passage there. You got here, didn't you? There must be a way home.
Yes, Luca say, slightly wistfully. There must be a way home.
Hmm. Obviously, like, can I sense that from you? Are you
Uh,
openly doing that or hiding it a bit?
Luca's not really hiding it. She kind of looks past Rod and says there must be a way home with some uncertainty.
Mm, I imagine some somberness as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Throd kind of like hangs his head just a little bit, just a hair, uh, and then we'll the little sacks of coin that were on the desk there. Kind of push them a little bit forward and say, Luca, Luca, I think I want to get you home. I
good.
know. Oh, you're so cut and dry. I love it. He'll recompose just for a hot second, like can't show emotion. uh, uh, just that. Just get home. Is there anything else you need? Just that. We'll find a way home, and then I'll wait, and I'll just wait.
Buy me beer and food.
Yes, of course. Salary, stipend, of course. Um, again, the you can have these between them. There should be between 40 or 60 gold. I don't know. There's emergency funds. You can have those, and I'll ring the bell, and whichever Jeremy comes in, go find Ever Arbor. Find out how to get there.
Fine, what? Yes, sir.
I
They just, yes, sir.
go do the thing. That's all you're. Uh, and I'll gesture back to you, Luca. Shall we?
We shall.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Leave the office there.
Perfect.
Mm.
Upon leaving the office, Luca would look to Nadia and say, I am satisfied.
I'm as well.
Oh man. Um,
We all thought it. We all thought that's what she said. Sorry, that's funny.
um, later that night, when everyone's resting before the big day tomorrow, we cut to Durod. You haven't slept yet.
No, okay.
No? You, I believe you mentioned to me that you had something you were going to do this night.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna do it, but I guess I get to do it.
It's your card
Uh,
today.
fair point. So your little cutscene will be just Durod walking down random street in city. Uh, he'll come across like a homeless looking feller, exchange some words, and some coinage can be seen going into a cup or whatnot, and the two of them will go into the alley there off into the shadows, and then a
I
few
can take
minutes
over from
later,
here.
you got it.
I got it from
You
here.
got it. Okay.
After Gerard and this homeless man walk into the alleyway after exchanging some words and potentially coins, some brief time passes, and then the homeless man is seen exiting the alleyway and wanders into a tavern, only to get thrown out of said tavern about 20 minutes later, covered in bruises, getting back up ready to jump back into the bar brawl.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's that one.
And we return first thing in the morning with, I think, the first person would probably be Nadia. It would be the very first person to be up and about first thing in the morning. Daylight's just about to break. Nadia, you are not alone, but you are the only person awake and moving around in your current temporary living situation.
I'm outside.
I think I'd like to try and go find a source of water.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a flowing. The nearest, if within the city there is like a source of flowing water.
Okay. You'll gather up your things and head out earlier before most wake up. Thane, are you also up this early?
I got here. I got here at 4 in the morning, and he's been standing outside ever since.
So Nadia, you walk out and there's Thane just standing there.
Oh, hello.
Are we ready to leave?
I'm leaving. And then I'm going to
You're
come
leaving?
back. And then I'll come
Oh,
back. Just for now.
very well. I will wait.
Alright.
So you head off into the city looking for some running water of some kind. Why don't you give me an investigation check as you move through the city, or if you'd like, you can use your passive investigation if you want.
That's not gonna get me far. I'm gonna risk it.
14,
14?
not bad. All right, with a 14, you managed to find one of several natural parks that's kept in the city. Dendris is very big on keeping nature intact and not, New Yorkifying the the surrounding environs. So yes, you actually find a it is man-made, but it flows naturally with the environment here. There's sort of like a man-made river that runs through town. Some people actually like use. Are they called gondolas? Is that what they're called? I forget. Like
Yeah.
in like Venice, that's a
Gondolas.
gondola,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, gondola,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's some like gondolas that will use it to get to different parts of the city, but it's mostly people aren't in it. It's usually empty of people.
Said it's man-made.
It is man-made, but it is running water. Not sure how, but it's running water.
River's a river is a river. Can I get down to the bank?
Yeah, you can. There's no like protective railing or anything stopping people from getting in the water.
Is there how choppy is it? Like, is there a relatively clear reflection?
Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's moving at a pretty quick pace, but there's no white waters or anything yet, and it is very clean, very well kept, sort of artificial riverbeds. So it is clean. and the water is very clear.
Do I? And I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Do I feel any sort of connection to them through this? Or
You do. You do.
peer into it and try and to look for the reflections.
Why don't you roll me a D100? Hmm? 15.
15.
Hmm. I think with a 15, you start to see your own reflection shift and move for a moment before the surface tension of the water breaks, and it's rushed again, and then you only see your own reflection. But it started to do something. It didn't completely fail. Something happened. It just didn't connect.
I take off my outer clothes and get in and just sort of lie under the water with my head under the water for a little while.
Yeah, you
Very Ophelia and Hamlet in
you
there.
you get into this water. It feels very clean, very fresh. Um, After some traveling, you actually haven't really bathed in a while, as you just arrived in Dendris yesterday and then very quickly got into a fight after that. So this just feels wonderful, and the water is so clean. It's the perfect temperature. It's not too cold, not too warm. It's an artificial river. It's perfect.
River is a river is a river. I don't think I spend too long in there. I don't want anyone catching my scent.
Mm.
No, I will head out and I will go back and I will put my clothes back on.
Excellent.
Head back. I think by the time she's very long hair. It is still fully wet.
Oh yeah.
She has visibly been
Just
submerged in water recently.
sopping red hair. Do you wring it out first before you walk back into Durrell?
No.
No. Nope.
It's curly too, so it's holding on to a
It's-
lot of water. There's a lot of water.
and it's so early. After a little bit of time, Durad, you wake up feeling how you feel.
Fair.
Yeah. And you make your way out into the main area where everyone's sort of just kind of camping out, and you just see this path of water going through your carpet leading up to Nadia. It's just a puddle.
I think the footprints. She went barefoot for this and walked barefoot with wet feet all through town. So I think there's muddy footprints as well.
Wait, the red road, would she have picked up like the red powder from the bricks and made red footprints in the green carpet?
Blue carpet?
Rusty, muddy water is what it looks like. Just soaked in to a carpet that probably costs more than some people's residential homes in the edges of this city.
I mean, regardless, wouldn't Presti just undo that?
Yeah.
Trustworthy.
Yeah,
Okay.
But it's the thing. It's the
it's
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 the it's
the principle.
it's the thing.
The principle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's
Not a
gonna draw
principal I
something.
know.
Full
Good
Belvedere.
morning.
Okay. Um, Todd will just come when he comes down. He sees it. He just start rubbing his temples. I'm not ready for this today. This is not happening. Um,
Are we postponing the expedition?
already. The
Lost
rod is just
audio.
gonna start. Lost. Can you hear me?
Can
Yeah,
hear you
Yeah.
now. There was a few seconds
Oh,
where we couldn't.
I'm I'm not sure, but on my streaming software that I'm using, it's got like an audio mixer thing, and it like shot all the way into the red and then couldn't hear you. So I think it was just too loud. That's all.
oh, I
Yeah,
clapped.
I think yeah, it was
So it's
just the
probably auto.
yeah,
It probably auto muted that. Yep.
yeah.
Okay. So I will clap and then put on his best smile that he has and say, "Kensu, are you there right now or no?"
Not yet. I'll wait for the DM to tell me.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
not there.
I was. Did you return to Gerard's when you were
No,
done
I've
for the?
got my
Okay,
own
yeah, you
place,
have
and
your
it
place.
didn't make any
I'm
sense to stay with
yeah,
Durant.
No,
doesn't
no,
make sense. All right, cool.
no.
And it's much nicer.
Ooh.
I beg to
Rod's
differ.
terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Dude, if you only knew, if you only knew. Uh, seeing like the cacophony of just shit in front of him in his store and what he's got to do now, and like the planning and everything, and it's all coming down. Bring it back in. Wonderful.
Are
I
you
believe
sleeping
we're.
late?
He rest. You can't keep this perfect face if you don't rest. Uh, quickly deflect that one. Um, I believe we're a few short.
Mhm.
If you look outside, if you look like outside of your shop windows, Thane is very obviously outside.
Look,
In front of the
looking through your
window.
displayed window.
No, he's not. He's not
He's
like right up against a window, but he's clearly visible from outside, but he's
just
not blocking traffic to your door.
just standing there. Not even. Are you even looking in, or are you just looking out, like towards the street?
Uh, he's looking out at the street at this point. He's stared at your sign for about 2 hours now. He's is no longer interesting. So yeah, he's at least looking around at other things in the street right now.
Oh my gosh!
I should rename
What?
this campaign to Kensu, Gerard, and these fuckers.
um,
Your store wasn't open. I'm not coming inside.
not
And
open.
as far as he knows, it's still closed.
Oh yeah, he was out there when I left this morning.
Oh well, let's let him in. Duran will go to the door and pop open. And Thane, would you care to join us?
Yes, he'd come over and come inside.
Wow, wonderful.
Good morning,
Uh,
Durad.
good morning. Morning to you, Thane. Are you all prepared? Do you need to gather anything before we leave, or are you good?
He rustles his backpack and his gourd and he says, I'm prepared.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I like a man that's prepared. And everyone else, we're short Kensu. I'm sure we'll find him.
Kensu, you can be arriving at around now.
Well, before I arrive, I wanted to mention two things.
Go for it.
Um, when I was with the guard, I would have also mentioned the Fey person that may or may not have been a threat, who was
Okay.
also in the same area as the summon creatures.
I assume so, but did you wait until you were in the bubble first before you told anyone?
Yeah, I would have told him instead of telling everybody.
Okay. Cool. 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 Cool.
This morning before going to Dorad's, I would have sent missives, two of the other crowns, and one to the crown in Sema to advise that I would be in their territory soon. And I can talk to you more about who
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
No.
stuff. And if possible, what I would do to help alleviate some of Dorod's stress is I would have showed up not only with my mount, but perhaps with a horse and cart.
With your station, you can charter them for free, essentially, on the dime of the
Okay.
crown, essentially.
That way we are ready to. I mean, there's
Well,
nothing he has to help pay for.
crown's not the right word, as there's no
Since he's got the
technically
company
union.
car.
Say what?
You got the company card.
It's true. It's true. You have the company card. And technically, you can actually, under authority of the council, hire anyone you want. But that's knowledge for you, and I'm sure you don't have to tell Durand that. You have the authority to just pay out of the country's pocket if you need to hire someone.
This fucker.
I just found that out right now out of game. What do you want me to do?
To be fair, though, there's a good chance that the money you're spending came from Durod anyway.
That's also true.
Yeah, that is, yeah. All right. We'll see how Gerard's mood is when I get there. If it's not a good mood, maybe I'll do something to lift his spirits. We'll see.
Excellent. After some time, because you had a few morning duties to take care of, you'll arrive at Durand.
Wait.
Your video cut out. Bingo.
I hit a button. I hit a button. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Excellent. Then, yeah, you have, now that, Kensu is here, the entire gang is gathered. I take it you all depart from Duraz. Is there any last minute, anything anyone needs? No? Alright.
I would just want to mention that while the cart has a horse or two, Kensu's mount is a camel.
Right, I do remember that.
Ooh.
Yours is not pulling the cart. Perfect. Now, as you are all kind of gathering together to leave the town, I need everyone to make me a perception check as you're kind of walking toward the north gate.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Know how I feel about perception checks.
I know.
Perception. To the
It's a 2.
Damn. 22?
There was a 26 up there earlier, if I saw that right. Hold on.
Who got the 26?
Thane.
I did.
Get out of here. You guys are very perceptive.
Okay.
Luca got an 8. Meh.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Thane notices out of the corner of his eye as they're walking an old building. When I say old, I don't mean a little bit old. I mean it looks like it's older than the city itself. Hanging over its door is a sign that is faded, that looks like a hammer and anvil. Not faded through disrepair or anything like that. If anything, this building looks remarkably clean and pristinely well kept, but there's only so much you can do against time itself. What do you do, Thane?
Roll a dice. I need to roll a dice for this. What does Thane do when he sees a building like that? I mean, I'm done. I don't need to buy anything. Everyone else said they're done. I'll leave it to a dice. High, I'll say something about it. Low, we'll address it when we get back. We'll address it when we get back.
Okay. And the building fades from your peripherals. And if you turn to look back at it, it's gone.
Oh. Like completely gone?
You can't see it anymore.
Or
Or at least as you've walked. Like, you briefly saw it, like, in between two buildings. Do you want to backtrack to see if it's still there?
yes, if it vanished, that's more interesting now.
You look, and yeah, you think it vanished at first, and you kind of like walk your steps back and forth, and you realize that there is just like a very specific angle that if you look at it, you can see it.
Oh. Well.
And you're like looking in between several buildings, and it's like a couple streets over, and you have to like get this like absolutely perfect angle to even recognize that it's there, as it just kind of fades into the background, and it's almost hard to focus on until you get that sweet spot.
Oh, dadgum. Yeah, I'm making note of where this is. Which road is this on?
I will have a proper answer for that later.
Okay. I've stopped, backtracked, and then stood here, like, just wiggling about, trying to find this thing again. So has this attracted anybody else's attention?
I would say anyone with a passive perception of at least a 10 would notice that one of your party members is just stopped in the middle of the road.
My passive's a 13.
Gerard will notice.
Mine's 18.
We'll
Will
notice.
notice.
A
Luca?
12.
14.
Everyone notices.
Gerard would just pause and just kind of stare a little bit. And then kind of look over at Kenstu. You think he forgot what we were doing?
No, I mean maybe he saw something. Maybe it's another whatever those things were that attacked us.
Sandra.
I don't know.
And Drake.
Yeah. All right. I'll make my way back that way to
We just
Thane.
wait until he's done, or
You approach
Well-
him, Gerard?
Yes, of course. Even if it's just to say, hey, like, are you good? Like, we're going.
Yeah, I'm good. Do you see that?
Do I see it? Do I see the-
You being pointed out directly where it is, the DC is going to be lower. You're going to have advantage, but even being pointed out, you still need to roll. It is not a guarantee. Roll me a perception check with
Okay.
advantage, please.
Oh, perception with advantage. There's your advantage perception.
A
14 and 9.
You catch a glimpse of something, but it is so brief you can't tell what it was, but you do catch something, and you're like, wait, what? But you can't quite catch it again, but something was there. Can't see.
Would we have noticed Darad's reaction of, huh? Yeah, that face.
Yeah. The
I mean,
said so.
I would probably know that something that
something.
makes
Yeah.
Darad a
Kenstu
little
would know.
uncertain would be worth noticing.
All right.
Kenstu would know. We've worked together.
If you want to look too, Kensu, give me an advantage perception check.
Okay.
Also come and peek.
Yeah, everyone who wants to look, you give me an advantage perception check.
The party just Scooby Doo's back to Thane.
So 15?
You. Oh. I'll get to that in a
On
second.
fire.
I'll get
On
to that.
fire.
Okay. Wow, this group is doing really well with their rolls. I've
I-
never had this kind of luck in my life. This is great.
I just imagine, like, first Thane leans at that specific angle to see the building, and then Durad leans a little further, and then everyone leans, like, one head further.
like this.
Yes.
Like boop boop boop
Just
boop
boop,
boop.
boop, 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 boop.
It's a shame you're DMing right now, Zeke, because I'm sure you could create a meme right now.
Oh
That
my
would.
gosh! If I could meme and DM at the same time, I would be going ham.
That's God level.
Thank you, thank you. So everyone now, Durad, I will give it to you that after everyone else starts noticing, you can like sort of just lean on one of their rolls and yeah, sort of make it out. For Luca and Nadia, you can eventually see what Thane is seeing. Kensu,
Hmm.
you, when you get a good look at it, and like get a really good look at it, you feel a strange sensation, and you feel like you can't take your eyes away from it. Not in like a you're charmed or like being magically prevented or any kind of like weird, red flag kind of way, but just in the sense that like something about it is so unique and particular. It being hard to see is the least of whatever this building has to offer. And you can't place it. It's that level of perception where it goes beyond your ability to conceptualize or verbalize, but you know what you're feeling, you know what I mean? Like you can't put it
Right.
to words, but you know what you're seeing. And there is just something that you can't quite put your tongue to that is incredible about this building. And you can clearly see it. Like you could walk to it. Like you can even move like this and you can still see it.
Have I heard of any stories, uh, like even from like just from reports of people that are like town drunks or something, like of somebody mentioning a.
You you might be one of the few people that I would actually say could have a chance at this. Given who your character is and their backstory and everything, why don't you give me a history check?
Oh boy, my dump stat. Here we go.
A 10? I would
Yeah.
say with a 10, you have heard somewhere in Agranor is this legend of a impossible to find shopkeep. That's as far as you know about that legend. The fact that it exists. That's it.
Um,
I mean,
I'd like to go toward it.
All right.
Me too.
I mean, it's in my city. I would like to assess its.
Yeah, you've never seen it before.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, I mean, it could be a threat.
Okay, so Thane and Kens, you start walking. Does anyone else?
I have a feature that
Durand-
allows me. I think it gives me advantage. Try and figure out the school of magic on a magical effect.
Okay.
My conduit feature. Could I try and figure out what this thing's deal is?
Sure.
Kind of cock my head to the side and close my eyes and sort of and tap into the magic here. See if it can tell me anything.
You can give me either an Arcana check if you want it exactly as you've stated, or you can give me an investigation check, which won't give you as much magical information, but will give you more mundane information about this building. What would you like?
I'm going with Arcana because I have higher and I get advantage.
Perfect.
There's a 19.
With a 19, with a 19, you are confused. The weave moves through all things, living or not. It's like an invisible tapestry that is overlaid over the physical world and can freely pass through things much like a ghost would. This is fairly common knowledge, or at least among those that have some concept of magic. And to you, this is extremely, like, childhood knowledge, right? Like, this is, you learn this as a kid.
This is ding dong stuff.
Yeah, yes. This building, as you're trying to focus your senses on the weave and you're trying to feel the magic around this building to try and learn about it, the weave moves in many directions simultaneously. And by many, I mean uncountable trillions, quadrillions, if not more, layers of the weave all stacked on top of each other, all going in different directions. If you had
Have I
to
ever
think
seen
about
anything like it?
if you had to think about it, it's almost like an ultra complicated train junction. Like, the weave naturally goes in one direction, but it's like it has weave from multiple different places where it's going in a different direction, and they're all lapped on top of each other. It's like the weave is like doubled up on itself trillions of times.
Like Damascus.
Yes, actually. The weave would look a lot like Damascus. Thank you. It's a great, great example. It's like someone has just a Damascus in the weave, and there's so much of it concentrated in the building just from the sheer number of directions that it's taking, not necessarily that it's like drawing magic or anything. It's just strange.
Have I ever encountered anything like this before?
No.
He says with no excitement in his voice whatsoever.
Actually, I take that back. You haven't seen anything like this, but you actually have seen something similar, now that I think about it. I'm going to have to be very careful with my wording because I don't like spoiling my characters' backstories. But there is a particular time that you saw a portal from a place that you were to a place that you were going. And at the threshold where those two places meet, the weave crossed over in two directions. Whatever this building is trillions of directions.
It is multi-plane.
Okay. Out of character, I think I understand. But in character, Nadia's just gonna file that away and go, oh, okay. And then start walking towards it.
Okay.
Alright.
Beautiful.
Luca would draw one of her axes and then follow.
Ooh. Alright, you have an axe at the ready. Durod.
Gerard would follow, but once the party stops at whatever distance we decide to stop at, would start ritual casting detect magic. Now that I can see the weird building. Oh my god. Am I gonna blind? I'm dead.
Rip Durod.
I'm dead.
Rip Durod.
The good, very bad, horrible day gets even better.
Man. Excellent. Who's the first person to open up the door? If anyone. Does anyone go in?
I'm not approaching this with any kind of caution, so it could
Yeah,
very
I
well
wouldn't.
be.
I wouldn't hesitate. I'm so entranced by whatever this
yeah.
is. I will say. I mean, it's a shop. What could go wrong?
Okay, so Nadia and Kensu walk in. Durod is looking trepidatious, and Luca's already drawn a weapon. Thane, what are you doing?
Side?
You're going inside?
Yeah.
Alright. Phenomenal.
I don't teleports away. The party is split. We're done. All
Actually,
got-
it's funny you mention that.
Oh, no.
So, Durod, You have had a fascination with the weird strangeness of the way the weave interacts with these three people that you don't know. It's working normally for you and Kensu, but for these three people, it's somewhat different for some reason. You can't sense that anymore as soon as the door shuts. All feeling that they even exist just is gone as soon as the door shuts. It doesn't. You can't feel them anymore.
I'm still ritual casting.
You're still ritual casting. Unless they wait. Nadia and Kensu made it sound like they just go right in. Same with Thane.
I mean, yeah.
Have zero hesitation. Zero caution.
High or low? We're gonna do high or low because that's an iffy situation for Durad.
I
It's a good call. High. He's gonna stop ritual casting and go in, and low.
yeah,
He's gonna finish the ritual.
yes.
High. There we go. I will
Goes in.
stop my ritual, and I will now start going to the door to figure out why they're no longer. I can't feel them anymore.
Perfect. Luca, you're the only one still left outside.
Luca's job is to protect Durad, and Luca has a bond with Nadia, so Luca would pick up speed when Nadia rushed through the door, and then look back at Durad, and when it was obvious that Durad was coming, Luca would
have actually gone in
wait
before.
for him to be closer and
Okay.
then go in before him.
Perfect. Okay. All of you are inside. I am so excited. Why don't we take a brief intermission so everyone can have like a quick bio break before we get into this very intense bit of RP? Come
Can
back
we
in.
use that time to create a backup character?
If you feel like it, I mean,
Okay.
How long a break are we taking, Zeke?
let's keep it short
5,
just
10?
because. Yeah, let's do.
8 minutes?
Yeah, make it 9 p.m. Yeah,
Perfect.
9 p.m. Eastern.
I feel
so
bad
Alright.
because
8
I
minutes.
took a bio break earlier.
Oh,
No, I gotta go
Yeah,
smoke a
fuck
bowl.
you.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. I'm gonna go smoke real quick. If I have the option, I'm gonna go do that.
all right.
I want to do that, but I don't have time.
Cool.
That's-
Let me switch our sound off.
So
Give me-
I what from what I
Give me
know
one more
is
time slower.
We are back.
Never mind. Never
no.
mind.
Chaque fois que tu parles quelque chose stupide tombe de la bouche. There you go.
Oh, goodness. So, we return a couple minutes past what we were going to do, but that's okay. Um,
I wish I'd known we were going to be late because I probably could have smoked the entire bowl instead of just half of it.
That's my fault.
No, it's my fault for being punctual. I should have learned by now.
all right, so you all have entered into this very strange shop. As you walk in, let me set the scene for you. This is a wooden interior building. There is an open area where people can gather after they walk in the front door. Then there is a about abdomen height counter that stretches the entire width of the wall with no noticeable way to pass from one side of the counter to the other. And it's mostly empty, the building. Except for a few things that you do notice. One is just like the outside, it is extremely clean, extremely well kept. It looks very well tended to. The second thing you'll notice is that on the counter, centered with the door, there is a ding bell, like a service bell. The only other thing that you'll notice is that there is a door that seemingly exits the back of this building in the far corner behind the counter.
Luca would stop suddenly and go, wait, I was cheated in the mountain town. And mumble that and grumble a little bit before proceeding onward. Sudden brainwave strikes my intelligence 6 character.
What is this, 6?
Is there a way to ring the bell?
It's right there on the counter. You can just walk up and ring it if you'd like.
Okay, I'm going to ring the bell.
Oh no.
All right. Kensu reaches out and rings the bell. You all hear this soft tone that echoes very clearly, but it doesn't echo off the walls. So your ears only hear it once. It doesn't have that reverb to it. Like the sound just dies when it hits the walls, I guess, would be the best way to say it. There's nothing for about 5-10 seconds, and then the back door will open. And into this building, through the back door, walks some kind of creature. It's hard to make out its features, as all you really see is just rags. Just piles of rags. Clean, well kept, not like dirty or patchwork, but just clean rags that vaguely make around the lump of maybe a humanoid person, maybe. Like their features are just like there's actually a whole cool holiday. B, you know which one I'm talking about, where people wear like random outfits and to disguise themselves, and they go to like friends and family, and they have to like try and what is it called? That's right, mummers. It's sort of like that, where like the features are completely blocked by all of these rags, so you can't quite tell who or what it is. But it shuffles, a slow, kind of rhythmic bounce.
Like a ghillie suit made of rags.
Yes, like a ghillie suit made of rags. That is actually a great way to put it.
Joey in that one episode of Friends.
Ghillie suit made of rags.
Where's all the clothes?
Joey in that episode of Friends.
Oh my god.
My
Um,
age.
it shuffles forward until it reaches right in front of the bell, and it sort of leans what you think is its head. Again, it's so masked, but it sort of like leans forward just slightly enough to like kind of in your direction, Kensu, and says, "How may I help you?" Now, when it speaks, you've heard androgynous voices before, where they're sort of like a little masculine, a little effeminate, and it's kind of hard to tell. You couldn't quite tell, right? This is not that. This is androgynous in the sense that it is the most masculine voice you have ever heard in your life, but also the most feminine voice that you've ever heard in your life. It is both male, it is both female, it is both organic and inorganic, artificial and vocal. It is monotone and yet still has inflections that conveys speech. And your hair on the back of your neck almost hackles as it speaks, just from not necessarily that like you're in danger or that anything's wrong. It's more like your brain is freaking out because it doesn't know how to process what it's hearing. And yeah, says, "How may I help you?"
We just noticed your shop and wondering what you sell? Question mark.
"I am the smith."
Would
How
would
long? Oh,
I've ever heard of that? Never.
No.
how did this shop come into being? It only is visible in certain angles.
Those who need to find my shop will find my shop.
Um, so you smith anything? Just weapons, just armor, just leather?
I am the smith.
Do you have a samples of your products, wares?
Yes.
Zeke,
Is he
you
not
you
saying,
cut
is he
me
not
now?
saying
No, he's
anything, or
not
are you
saying anything. He
saying?
just said yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
He's just the
So where could we see them?
One moment. Sort of, the head maybe sort of retracts, and it sort of almost kind of squishes down a little in size, and two arm-like appendages with very clearly visible hands will reach out. Or actually, you'll only see one hand. Sorry, not two hands. Just one hand comes out, and it is a humanoid-looking hand, but it's completely wrapped in that cloth-like bandage, and there's not a single bit of skin that you can actually see. And it reaches under the back of the counter, kind of like how that's where like safes would be in like old cashier kind of things, and would pull out what at first looks like a very plain and very simple, very basic iron plate, uh, like breastplate. It looks very mundane. It doesn't look ornate. There's no special anything about it at first. And then you look closer and you realize that there is not a single what's the word I'm looking for?
Imperfection?
Imperfection or fault or crack. It is iron that has been worked so fine that water would wick right off of it, would beat up and roll right off. I mean, you could slide a glass of ale to someone off of this, the smoothness of this iron. The leatherwork. The leather is from a creature you've never seen before in your life, and looking at it fills you with the understanding that it would take a person of mountainous legend to fell a creature that had this leather to it. And it is stitched with such perfection that an elf that has been practicing artifice and leatherworking their entire life for 150 years, they wouldn't approach the same language of craftsmanship that is on this. It defies logic. The longer you look at it, you realize that you are actually seeing it in its glory, and your brain can't comprehend it, which is why it just slowly looks like it's getting better and better looking the longer you look at it. As your brain is like trying to buffer and catch up with just how fine the craftsmanship is that defies what is possible through physics. And then we'll take it with one hand back and put it underneath the counter, and then
Was everybody able to see it, or
everyone could see it. Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Durad, you're a fellow craftsman. Do you want to?
Can can I roll to see what that leather was? To like know,
You
like you said, like gigantic, and I'm thinking like my mind goes to places where like Dorad has dreamt of doing working with, you
right.
know? So like,
Why don't you give me a check for your tailor's tools? Actually, we'll use that to see how you do.
perfect. That's just what just proficient plus proficiency, right?
That is correct.
Gotcha.
Actually, aren't you expertise in tailor, or is it only
Oh,
proficiency?
good call.
I think you have expertise in tailor.
What's my expertise? I'm so sorry. I'm holding this up. No, my expertise is in stealth.
Ah, okay.
Ah, so we'll do. Where's that? Where's my? There it is. The slash R slash R. Mm, right? Did that work? I can't see. Everything is so small. Did it roll that?
I
So
see an
14.
11. So 14.
14 plus 3. Yep, 14.
Um,
Back.
with a 14, you cannot identify the specific creature that this is from. However, you can um, get its creature type with that.
Oh, I'll take a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'll wait for you to get your notes.
uh-huh. I'm ready.
Primordial.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother realm of stuff that Gerard wants to mess with. He's not even thinking about that yet. Nice. Uh, Gerard will go up to the counter. Um, the smith is it, right? You're the smith.
There's no response from the creature behind the counter.
I'll kind of like turn. I'll like turn to the rest of the group, and I'm like, and I've never heard of this guy. Like this legend, this lore, this nothing. Like none of it. This is so.
Maybe he doesn't understand you, or they don't understand you.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure they understand. They just choose their words wisely,
You can
It,
be
purposeful.
certain of a lot of
it,
things.
What was
they
that?
did say that this who when someone needs to find their shop, it appears. So it's here for us. I mean, should we see if we should request anything? I mean, we are about to. I'm not
How
a religious
may I help
person,
you?
but hmm,
Do you only sell wares? Do you have information?
Completely ignores you, Durand.
Ignore me. I will reach over and ring the bell.
It'll You'll notice ever so slight shift in what you think is the head, and it's now focusing on you. One moment, please. I'm with a customer. And then we'll turn back
And
to
then
Kensu.
I'll then I'll back
Like
up.
this guy.
do you sell just wares or do you also have information?
I am the smith.
Do we? I'll look to the group. Should we ask him to? I'm sorry. Should we ask them to make something?
I would.
Yes.
I agree with you saying.
Luca's
Uh,
just kind of shaking her head, trying to get the annoying cognitive dissonance out of her skull.
Right? Like, eh. Like trying to get water out of your ear after swimming. Like,
uh, Rod will suggest a throwing axe for Luca.
Okay.
Looking around, I will see many axes. But yeah, you can make one of them.
Yeah, a throwing axe. Can you make one?
yes.
How much is it? Can't you ask him how much it is
Yes. How
before
much is it?
wait,
First time customers do not pay.
shut the hell up. There's a catch. Can't see there's a catch. I don't even offer that.
How much for second time customers?
That depends on what I am making.
Do we each count as a customer? Or are we a group one thing?
Just imagine as Gerard says this, it's coming out of Kenso's mouth. That way I don't have to repeat it all the time.
Okay.
I'm just like on Duraj, like the Kensuke shoulder, right? Like so, like I'm within eye line of the dude. Like wait, like yeah, I'm like.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Then could that got me? What? Could you repeat the question then?
Is group one time or are we each one customer? I might
When
not agree with it.
Yeah, when Kensu repeats it, says you, looking at you, says you are a customer. How may I help you?
So I will get off Kensu's shoulder and then roll back and then I'm out. I'm hanging off somewhere, waiting my turn.
Sounds like
Um,
somebody speaks clearly.
um, um, I am going to take some time to think and will allow another customer to step forward.
Very well. And then we'll proceed to turn and start walking along parallel to the counter. And you'll notice, you almost didn't notice it before, but there's a little stool there. And it will shuffle over to the stool and sort of just like envelop the stool into the rags. And then we'll just squat down until it just no longer even looks animate and it's just rags on a chair.
I mean, I guess we all decide what if we want something. I mean, this is
Craftsmanship is impeccable. Impeccable. Did you see that steel? That iron?
I saw that.
It's primordial leather. It's
You say
primordial. Primordial.
I've only heard of something like this appearing in Agrinar, and even then it wasn't, stories didn't describe this.
You heard of this, Kensu?
Sort of. I mean, something similar. A shop that appeared out of nowhere.
What were you about to say, Luca?
Luca says we should be very careful what we ask for. We may not get a chance like this again for some time.
I agree. Yeah, you're very, very correct.
Perhaps a week or so to decide would be great.
Thane,
Um,
Thane shrugs and goes, he seems pretty common. This is my second time here, actually.
Your second time.
So you
You've
don't
been
get
here
a
before.
discount.
Durad, because you are a master craftsman out of this party, as soon as Thane says that, you immediately look over his crown. Remember, I described its craftsmanship was one of the most exquisite things you've ever seen in your life. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna. Gerard's gonna go ring the bell.
The stack of rags lifts up, shuffles over, kind of turns, leans over just slightly. How may I help you?
I have to think about this, but I have a question. This place, is it safe?
Yes.
All of my customers are safe.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then
Wasn't a yes.
I know what he meant. I know what it meant. The rag. I knew what the rag meant.
You may refer to me as the Smith.
The Smith. Thank you.
Will that be all?
For now, yes. Thank you.
It turns, shuffles away, envelops over the chair, and just kind of deflates down.
Turn to the party. You guys. I agree with Luca. This is a golden opportunity. We need to think about this carefully.
does anybody have the spell detect evil good?
I don't know what that is.
That's not in my repertoire.
No.
I don't tend to ask those questions.
Need magic
I've
to tell if
never
someone's
heard.
evil or good?
I'd never heard of such a spell, but I know very little magic outside my own.
I would
Hmm.
I would only, I mean, obviously the first item is free, but Durad, I'm sure you would be the one to know. You should always know what you're getting into when you make a deal with somebody.
Is ever free.
There's
As
no,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's no such thing as a free lunch.
This is free. He
It's not.
points to the crown.
Free. No strings, nothing. Just free.
I've had it for a week now. He gave it to me.
Isn't
M- Might I ask if it does anything? Is it just exquisitely crafted or is it magical for you?
It's magical.
Hmm.
It. I don't think I've plumbed the depths of its power, but it has granted me an ability at least, and it's comfortable.
Out of Her character so magic it blinded me.
I know, but Thane doesn't know.
I know. In character, Gerard's just like, like I know, but like, what the hell?
As the party is now working together, collaborating to try and make the best use of this opportunity for something seemingly free from an expert craftsman, and wanting to use that opportunity wisely, they discuss, and I think that is where we'll call it for this evening, and we'll pick back up with what they have decided next time. Oh man,
Oh
this has
man,
been a fantastic session, and for the most ish part, glitch free, which is great.
pretty
Thank
good.
you all for being such wonderful players. Thank you for all of you watching. Thank you for the interaction in the channel. I will make sure to um, post this episode to YouTube much faster than I did the first one. I had some, again, technical difficulties. It was the theme of last session. Um, uh, yes, one day since technical difficulties. Um, so,
One
uh,
day.
but it'll come out much sooner. This time I should have it tomorrow, or at the very least the weekend. But I had a blast, and I hope you all did too. Um, thank you for coming, and this is Nebulous Horizons here at Beheld Actions signing off. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.